Yo, what's good, y'all? Today I'm gonna be talking about how I got my first job in Canada, okay? If you don't know, yes, I'm from Canada. I am Canadian. I'm born and raised here. But at the same time, I know a lot of people who don't know how to get a job. Even at the age of like 19, some people don't know how to get a job. And I had to figure that out kind of, not at an early age really, but I was at the age of, well, I just graduated high school. And at the time, I never had a job, you know what I mean? I just worked, you know, with my parents, you know, but I never got paid obviously, but when I was working with them. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go tell y'all how I got my first job and essentially some tips on how to do it, okay? So yeah, I'm a Canadian, so obviously I have an advantage over people who aren't Canadian in terms of getting a job in Canada. So, you know, that helps in some degree. But yeah, I just graduated high school and then I applied, I believe it was a summer, and I was applying to a whole bunch of different jobs just to see, you know, what's out there. Cause I'm like, yeah, I need to get a job, I need to make some money, you know, I'm 18, you know what I'm saying? I need like, you know, a job, right? And I went, keep in mind, this is a long time ago, not that long, I'm not that old, but I'm kind of old, but not really. But yeah, this took place a little while ago, so it's a little bit different. Most places at the time, not all, but at the time, most places took resumes in person. They didn't really have electronic, like through the computer. They did, but like not every store, but now it's more like every store essentially does it online. You don't see a lot of people handing it in person anymore. But yeah, for this job in particular, it took me a while. So like, yo, if you don't get like a call right away, keep in mind, yo, you have no experience, right? You have no experience at all, right? So essentially I applied at like 14 places before actually getting an interview call, and it was kind of tough because I had no experience, bro. All I literally had was volunteer experience, which isn't really anything. I mean, it's something, but not really. Like, I put on my resume just because I was like, it's the only thing I have, to be honest. And I guess it kind of looks good in a way because you're working for free and then they could talk to them or whatever, but most of the time they wouldn't waste their time and they'll just leave it at that. But yeah, I had zero experience and it was kind of tough for me. I was going around and like, yo, how do people do this, right? Which kind of made me jump to this next thing. So here's, actually, I know it sounds really bad, yo. It sounds really bad. But honestly, you don't understand how many places
don't check.
They don't check with their previous employer, bro. So that you can technically, I didn't do, I maybe did this, did I do this before? Nah, I think I did, bro. No cap, I probably did, bro. Yeah, I probably did. But yeah, yo, you guys are gonna have to lie, man. You're gonna have to lie on your resume, bro. Get someone that works there, maybe one of your friends or something. Find out what they do, bro, and then just lie, bro. Say you worked at, like, I don't know. But it's easy, bro. It's easy because they never check, especially when it goes years back. Like if it's a couple years back, maybe 2 years ago or something like that, most employers, they don't check. They're like, oh, like you worked there, like you're very versatile, you worked here too, like yeah, you're very versatile, and like you just cap the whole time, you know what I mean, and just lie. It actually works, bro. Like, I know it sounds bad, but it actually works. But if you don't want to get your job that way, then you know you can always do it the honest way. That's cool too. But yeah, another thing is that for my first job, okay, so how I got it is that I had to connect, okay? So I had to connect in order to get me an interview in the first place. Not necessarily an interview, but more of like it gives me a little bit of boost, you know what I'm saying? Like I went there, I applied, I gave my resume, I was wearing, you know, relatively nice clothes, you know, collared shirt, dress pants, and like some dress shoes, and then you know, I just gave it in like that. And some people thought I was overdressed, which is, I'm like, yo, you can't really overdress for that thing. But some people are like, you know what I mean? It's my first job, so obviously I'm gonna overdress and stuff, you know? But yeah, I went there, you know, I gave in my resume, and then the connect kind of just like, oh yeah, like, yeah, the manager likes you, blah, blah, blah. And if you don't know, my first job was at Foot Locker. I made a video about that, unfortunately. And my experience there and all that, you know, wasn't the best, but you know, you live and learn, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, you get better. But my first job, yes, at retail, Foot Locker, like most people's first job, retail. Yeah, it's very, very tough, retail as a whole, especially back then. It's not that easy. Well, that location specifically, but it was kind of different for me. It was a different feeling. It didn't really feel like hard work, but it felt like a different type of work. But yeah, so after I gave him my resume, it was about, what was it, like 2 weeks later that I got a phone call, and then essentially it wasn't a phone interview, they just said, oh yeah, come in for a group interview, right? And then I went, and then I had an interview. It was 2 other people, a girl and a guy, to my right and left, and I was in the middle for some reason. I guess it was just coincidence, and I was the youngest, you know what I mean? I think I was actually 17, bro. That's kind of crazy. I was like 17 years old. But anyways, I was like 17, and then with the answers, right? I don't remember the exact question, but for every interview that you do, especially your first job, give the safest answer, bro. Do not go off the rails, man. Give the safest answer and add to it sometimes, but just be confident in that answer and give a safe answer, because it can be bad. Honestly, it can honestly be bad, man. You just slip up one time, you give one wrong answer, and then, you know, that's the interview right there. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, just give the safest answer and then you'll be okay. So yeah, I was interviewed at the beginning of August of the summer. So like, you know, the summer starts at like June-ish. So I waited, well, it took that long to actually get a job. So I got the interview, and this is my only interview, by the way, unfortunately, which sucks. I got interviewed at the first part of the month, and then later on at the end of the month, they're like, come in for training, and I'm like, god damn, like I thought I didn't get the job. Like usually they call like within the first week or something, right? And then they pull you in, but I guess, you know, it is what it is. You know, I'm happy that I got the job in the first place. I was happy at the time that I was able to work at Foot Locker, man. I was happy, really happy. But that's the story of how I got my first job in Canada. I know, yeah, I'm Canadian, so it's not really like a unique experience, but at the same time, you know, it's something, you know, a little bit weird. But I guess it's like kind of like how I got my first job in general. But yeah, that's essentially how it was. Very different, very unique experience. Y'all should go check out my other videos on like Walmart and then, you know, Foot Locker as well. So yeah, some tips I can give you on how to get your first job, man, is it's honestly better to lie, bro, because with no experience you're at a significant disadvantage, man. And they don't check. It's honestly better to lie about your previous job experience, and then everything else you can keep it like kind of on, you can keep it honest. Just make sure that it's like a good timeline, like the timeline kind of all sets together between your job and then when you graduated and all that stuff. Just make sure that happens, or you can do it the honest way. It's up to you. But yeah, the easiest way, honestly, to lie. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, and share, all that good stuff. More to come, obviously. And y'all take care, and deuces, y'all. All right. It's way too hot.